We're live. Hi, everybody. Amazing. Welcome. We got a couple viewers here. We're going to wait for people to hop in. We've got an interesting stream today. Something I've done each part individually, but I've never kind of demonstrated and shown the difference before. So it'll be really interesting to go through this. Hello. Hi, everybody. Our typical Saturday at 9 p.m. Find us here almost every Saturday, unless it's a Sunday. But we're here every weekend at 9 p.m. Come, bring your questions, your concerns, your quandaries. Live Q&A, we show you something cool. We hang out, we take over. Hi, everybody. We're just going to give it a couple minutes, hang out, listen to some music for a second, and then we will jump into our stream today, where we're taking a look at dumb mesh, which is your typical mesh from any program, a mesh straight out of Maya. I'm going to use the content browser in Maya, grab a jacket, grab a shirt, something like that, and I'm going to show you how you can rig it in Maya and how many steps that takes. It's going to take 10 minutes maybe, I don't know. And then once I get all that skin paint and all that stuff, I'm going to show you how easy it is to do the same exact thing in MetaTailor. So we're going to just briefly open up Maya, show you a couple steps, how to paint skin weights and all that other stuff. And then we're going to jump into MetaTailor and do the same exact thing. And then if we have time, we'll figure out some other stuff, some fun stuff. We'll layer it all together. We'll do some fun things with that to show you just how instantly and perfectly it takes any dumb mesh from anywhere, from Sketchfab, Fab, from DeviantArt, from your own creations, from Maya, Blender, Marvelous Designer, and turns it into a smart mesh. This proprietary thing that MetaTailor does that nowhere else does. So we're going to take a look at that and a comparison in that. So welcome to the stream, everybody. Like I said, it's going to be a fun one. It's going to be an interesting one. Something we haven't done really before. Really highlighting why MetaTailor is so powerful. Yeah, I never lie. But absolutely, it's going to be interesting. Hello, everybody. Those of you who are hopping in and joining us, we're just getting started, just firing up, taking a moment, letting people realize that we are live. Giving them a second to put their kids down, put their food down, come join us. We are here pretty much every Saturday at 9 p.m. now. We've been really consistent the last couple of weeks. We're going to keep that going. Swapping out for a rare Sunday here and there just to give some other viewers a chance. Just for those of us that can't make it to Saturdays. But hello, everybody. Give it like one more minute. Then we'll go ahead and jump into it. Yeah, look, we just got more people. Awesome. For all of you who are just joining us now, welcome. We are looking at a really interesting stream today. We're going to take something out of Maya. We're going to just take a pre-made shirt out of Maya. It's got no information other than under 500 polys. And we're going to take that. I'm going to show you how to kind of rig it in Maya and show you the steps it would take, how many steps it would take to get even the semblance of movement out of Maya and animation out of Maya versus taking that shirt after I get that done in Maya. I'll throw it over into MetaTailor and show you just how easy it is to take a dumb mesh from Maya or anywhere else in our 3D world and turn it into a smart mesh through MetaTailor. So when I say dumb mesh, I mean stuff you pull off of Sketchfab, stuff you pull off of Fab, DeviantArt, stuff you create yourself in Maya, Blender, ZBrush, Marvelous Designer. Those are all fantastic and great programs, and Marvelous Designer just adds to them. So I'm not saying throw away Marvelous Designer. I'm not saying throw away ZBrush because MetaTailor is the best. I'm saying do the really cool thing in ZBrush and then let MetaTailor do the rest. Let us take it for you and make it work. So that's what we're going to be taking a look at today, just showing the comparison between rigging in Maya versus essentially rigging, but there is no rigging because MetaTailor makes it so easy in MetaTailor. I've kind of talked about it in a couple of the streams, especially when we're looking at our gloves, saying this would take me hours if I was trying to rig this just to get a hand, manipulate, and move, to create bones and paint skin weights and controls. I don't even think I'm going to make controls today. I just want to show you kind of throwing in like a 4-joint skeleton and a 4-joint arm, and just kind of showing you how much work that takes in and of itself that MetaTailor is just doing for you. So we'll go ahead and jump in and get started. So hi everybody. Welcome to the stream. Welcome to our 9 p.m. stream. I'm gonna go ahead and have Maya open and let's take a look at it. Here we are. So like I said, I'm gonna find a really dumb mesh, and Maya luckily has, and the reason why I use Maya is A, I'm better at it, and B, the reason why I use Maya is because under Windows, they have content browser where they just have content. You can see I was already looking at her clothing, seeing what wonderful information we have. It's got goggles and shirts, and a long sleeve sweater is probably the one I'm gonna grab today. Right there, and just open that up. Create that, boom, there's that sweater sitting above our grid. Like I said, under 500, oh, it's 502 polys. I was just off. So I said under 500 polys, it's 502 polys. This is not a great looking sweater. It's a very simple, low poly sweater. And so before I mess with this, let's go ahead and take this file, export selection, throw it on the desktop, and I'm gonna call this our FBX sweater. There we go. So this is what we're going to import into MetaTailor in a little bit. So this is a dumb mesh. This is the kind of mesh you would pull from Blender, that you would pull from Sketchfab. Sketchfab oftentimes is about this resolution. It doesn't oftentimes get much higher, and then they kind of supplement that with normal maps and texture maps. But this is your dumb mesh. This was just designed to be 3D. It's a solid static object. It has no dynamics to it. It has no skin weighting. I don't even think this has UVs. I can take a quick look. Oh, it does have some okay UVs, but nonetheless, it is still considered like just a dumb mesh. It's just a mesh. And so when I was taking a look today and kind of thinking about what stream we should do, I did take a peek at Marvelous Designer. And one of the things I looked at in Marvelous Designer was, okay, so what kind of animation do they have? Because honestly, I have not played with Marvelous Designer as much as I would have liked to. And so I'm like, what kind of animation do they have? And they do have a way to animate their clothes and kind of show them moving, but the amount of steps, it was a complex 30-minute video where you had to set up friction and you had to set up all of these other features to go along with it. Like just sitting there and trying to consider, all right, so I need the thickness of the fabric to be this. I need any buttons on there to be considered solid. And you had to do extra steps in their editor to kind of sew down points that move properly. And just the amount of knowledge required out of Marvelous Designer, a clothing designing app, was wild. Like they can do it, but not as great as MetaTailor. And so that's one of the big reasons why I feel like MetaTailor is that in-between tool, that it fills that gap between creation and animation. And then not just talking rigging, I'm talking dynamics, I'm talking physics, I'm talking fitting any avatar. Because behind what we're creating now, this dumb mesh that I'm about to play with, in Maya, it'll only work on this size. These paint skin weights that I'm doing will only work on this character that I am creating. If I wanted to apply it to another character, I would have to go in and I would have to rebuild it or reskin it or do a whole bunch of extra steps to get there. Whereas with MetaTailor, with a snap of our fingers, we'll be able to do the same thing I'm doing here that I would have to do at home. So I'm going to quick just create, like I said, a couple of joints kind of coming up the body here. 3, 4, I'll come right here, 5. There's our spine. It's not a perfect spine. This is not going to be any sort of excellent, well-built rig, but it's going to be the semblance of a spine. All right, I can come over here, go to our arms, look at our joints. Awesome. And I'm just going to go down the arm. Just kind of start with, we got like I'll start with a shoulder. Shoulder, probably have an elbow right about there, and a wrist right about there. That's pretty good. That's not too bad for a skeleton. I feel like our shoulder's a little high, but I'm not too worried about it. All right, now normally if I was rigging this for real, I'd kind of build in a clavicle, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to just parent this over And I'm going to go to skeleton and mirror this. So like I said, I'm just building a really, really simple skeleton here in Maya, just to show you how much extra work. Oops, it didn't mirror the right way. Skeleton, mirror joints across the, is it XZ? Nope. Mirror joints, is it the YZ? There it goes. All right, so you can see we've got this very, very base skeleton. And if you're unfamiliar with this, if you've never used Maya or rigged anything before, what we're looking at is this kind of thing that I've built inside that you can also do if you had a whole figure, or if you were more familiar with the human IK system in Maya, you could just click a button and it would do a lot of this for you. And you can do a lot of assigning. Blender has a whole bunch of great rigging videos and stuff out there. But what these will do is these little points will what will make this deformable. Make this mesh, this dumb mesh, deform. It's not making it a smart mesh. I'm still having to tell it how to do everything. So I've kind of just built a very rough skeleton, not anatomically correct, it's animation correct. But I've just kind of built this very rough skeleton, and I'm just gonna go to skin, bind skin, and make sure I don't have anything left over from any past projects, and hit apply and close. And so now it'll have a rough working kind of state. You can see right here, where it's kind of bending and adjusting, but it's pulling the wrong things. And now MetaTailor does run into this issue as well with low A-frames, but MetaTailor, we have tips and tricks and ways to avoid that. In Maya, I have to go in here and physically paint and fix any of these issues. And that's kind of where we run into some issues. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you just to get a little pose in here. Just kind of come in here and oops, I want this one. Paint out any influence this might have. And you have to sit here and go joint by joint by joint. And Maya does an okay job right off the bat. You can see the spine has influence of the arms, and it should have no influence of the arms. And actually, there's a faster way than me just sitting here painting it. And this is just to show you like him raising his arm. I still have to apply my own animation. You might be able to bring some FBX animation into something like this, but more often than not, you're just using your own controls and creating your own animation with something like this. And I'm doing a very quick and sloppy job here because this isn't a Maya video. This is a MetaTailor video, so I don't want to spend too long coming down and into here. I just want to show you how much work this takes to complete what MetaTailor can do in 30 seconds. We can time it. I started this at like 9:05. And so we'll see how long it takes me, a professional rigger, somebody who teaches this at a collegiate level. Joint 6 is up there. How long it takes me to accomplish this. And then imagine anybody who's maybe never done this and they just want their mesh to work. They don't want to have to worry about learning how to use Maya and everything else that goes along with it just to accomplish this. There's still other stuff pulling. Yeah. Hey. Don't do what I'm doing. This is, if you want to learn how to rig in Maya, there's other places for that. This is not how to do it. This is, like I said, this is Mark's sloppy rig. This is Mark's speed rig. This is somebody only paid me $8 and they wanted a rig done. Ooh, there's one more vert in there, but you can see I've kind of cleared out most of the shirt there. I can probably figure out which one. So it's attached to this bottom vert right here. Yeah. So let's take a quick peek at that. That's what I missed. The inside right here. All right. So what I've created here is completely unanimatable. You cannot animate this. You still need to go through and create hierarchies and constraints and name everything and build that all in before this is anywhere near a place where it can be animated. Mirror my skin weights across the YZ, apply. So if I move you, oh, they're still just a little bit stuck there. Why is that still stuck there? Who else has you? Right there. There we go. Put you guys back. Okay, so in no way, shape, or form is this animatable. You'd still have to do so much work. I don't have a clavicle bone, so I can't lift that shoulder up. But you can see in order just to, oops, I forgot to mirror those skin weights back over. So the other side's good. Let's do the pose in the picture. It's kind of like a running pose. So there we go. That's how much it takes to get a running pose. Now this is one out of 40, 50 poses I would have to set, 40, 50 keyframes I would have to get in there to get this moving. I could even take all the joints and set a keyframe, and if I wanted to, let's go 24 seconds. Oh, I forgot to hit set. Oh well. It took a bit over 10 minutes. Look at that. $8 Fiverr rig video. You got it. Absolutely. But yeah, it took about 10 minutes, and then to set that 2 keyframe, we're looking at about 10, 12 minutes to do that. And so I'm done with Maya. Let's go ahead and take a look at this in MetaTailor. I'll do this while it loads and all the other stuff. So that's a dumb mesh. And like I said, I was looking at Marvelous Designer, and it had all of these extra steps just to kind of do something similar in Marvelous Designer. Marvelous Designer didn't require any sort of rigs or bones, but it did require a whole bunch of setup in there. I don't know enough about Marvelous Designer, but it looks like a UV editor where you're designing the clothes and you're stitching those clothes together. You have to say what points are stitched together in there and which ones hold. You had to add a whole bunch of subdivisions, hundreds of subdivisions around the neck just to get those shoulders to roll. And you saw in Maya with that low under 500 poly mesh, the shoulder, it did not bend great. It didn't do what it was really supposed to do. So there's still more steps I would have to do to make that worthwhile, to make that in any sense of the word usable in Maya. But that took about 10 minutes for a really quick, fast, as Levon said, Fiverr rig. So let's go ahead and hit new project. I'm going to go ahead and open up my desktop again. So you can see I am in here, and we'll call this our sweater test. All right, so we've got our character here, and I am in the new 2.3. So it works with gloves, it works with blend shapes, all of that other stuff. Let's go ahead and hit import, not assembly. Just my cloth and accessories, and there's that FBX sweater, and open. All right, it's ready to go. So there's a couple tricks we're gonna have to do because we have an A pose. We want to avoid grabbing this side there. So I'm gonna quick take my hue and my saturation up just to give it a color, because that's gonna make life a lot easier instead of doing white on white when we're trying to pose match. I'll bring it up. Something a little bit more easy on the eyes. Yeah, that blue's really nice. All right. Next step. Let's look at the time. We're about 9:18, 9:19. Next step. I'm going to rush it just a little bit just to beat the time, beat the clock. sit nice. Start our pose match. And I'm gonna bring our hips way out. If you watch my videos, I do this in order to force the influence on the side here to stick more to the hips. So we avoid some of that grabbing. Go into gear 4 real quick, get some big hands, bring it back down. All right. Pull this up, pull this back, I'll pull you right there. His shoulders are too broad, too muscular of a guy. But what I can do is I can bring my elbow up higher, put my hand up a little bit higher, make those arms a little thinner. Let's stick to points right about there. All right, that looks pretty good. I'm just gonna make his head a little smaller. All right, so we got a guy in a sweater. Let's just preview our pose wrap. That did pretty good. I'll have to do a little bit of touch-ups under the arms right here and kind of bring the fabric out, add some thickness here and there. If I wanted to, I could probably, let's see, bring you out a little bit better. Can I bring you in a little? Can I start cheating you in a little bit? Your pose wrap, that's still looking good, looking a little bit better. Remember, this is a really low poly mesh that I'm fighting with too, so it's like, there's only so far I can go. And this preview pose wrap tool is great. All right, that did a pretty good job. Let's go ahead and hit confirm. Next step. What? One Piece reference? Where? Awesome. So now it's on. I mean, this is a couple touch-ups now. Let's go ahead and add some thickness. Add some yield. Take away some yield. Add some yield. Let's go ahead and add some shrink wrap. Kind of get a little tighter in here. You can see he's just got massive traps right here. So we just have to calm this down a little bit. I probably take my shrink wrap. Let's try that one first. Just gonna bring that in. No, I'll have to, instead of shrink wrap, let's go ahead and grab the grab tool. And I always like a huge brush. But what's big about this is I've done this for one character. I've done this for one avatar. And once I'm done, I mean, it's already done. I'm happy with it. I could apply this to any avatar I wanted now. And it would just work. I'm just doing touch-ups for this one. Everyone would need just a little bit of touch-ups because everybody's different in more ways than one. All right. Add a little shrink wrap, tone down those shoulders. This big shoulder here, these weird kind of boulder shoulders you see right here, that's because of the Maya mesh. Let's hit confirm. Let's see how that looks. Cleaned up, sitting a little bit better. That looks like a chunky sweater. And what's neat about this is I could take this into something like, time at 9:23, it's done. So from like 9:19, 9:20, 4 minutes. 4 minutes plus edits. And not only that, I can go ahead and throw some running on there. Fully animated, ready to go, ready for any avatar. That's the power of the smart mesh. That is the smart mesh right there. And like I was saying, what's so cool about this is you could take this into Substance Painter now, and you could add whatever decals you want. You can make this a Supreme sweater. You can make this a One Piece sweater, whatever you wanted to do. It has those UVs. It's built in MetaTailor. I don't have to do any extra steps to start adding textures and colors and logos or designs to this. It has so much power. So if you're looking to create a whole bunch of NPCs or characters for your game, a crowd or anything like that, and you want to dress them in different things, you just need one sweater. One sweater, and you can go in and, in order, like I said, you just take the FBX or whatever you need out of Maya or wherever you need to, bring it into Substance Painter or something like that, and then you just go to your tools. And each one, you just add its own color and normal map or ambient occlusion map. That'll be generated out of Substance Painter if you have that. Or Blender. Blender has a really strong kind of painterly kind of marmoset tool bag, similar sort of thing. So Blender, if you're looking for free, I don't know about that. I don't know how to jump into that. I know Substance Painter, but you should have the same thing. You can design those textures, put those logos on there, and you could generate more than just one shirt because you've created this smart mesh that all it needed, it didn't change the UVs, it didn't change anything, it just changed it built this its own mesh around it. If we go into layers here, tailoring, we can see it's created its own wireframe, and it's not added too many frames. but it's taken that wireframe and it has kind of added those weights. It's added all of the skinning that you need to get this to work. It's still the same 500 poly mesh or so. It's just changed it into tries. So that's the power of a smart mesh, and it'll work for any avatar. Let's try it. Let's go to our let's go back to our bind pose, content browser. Let's go to my avatars, and I'm gonna grab where's our tried and true Bernice. I've been using Bernice these last like 10 streams. Let's grab Bernice. Now she's wearing the sweater, and the only thing I gotta fix right here a little bit is the shoulders. Go in here, just grab the grab tool, sculpt original. Nice big grab, pull those over a little bit. I always prefer the grab tool over. I mean, I like the push-pull tool, but depending on the mesh, sometimes the push-pull tool can mess with the mesh. Probably could even just, no, my yield and my thickness are kind of where I want those. I can take my smooth tool just a little bit up here, smooth that down. Maybe not that much, a little too powerful. Keep wanting to hit my Maya hotkeys. Shrink it in a little bit. Shrink it in over here a little bit. Confirm, how does that look? I'm still giving kind of some boyfriend sweater vibes. A little bit too big. You can take your shrink wrap. Trying to get the shape to be a little less big in the shoulders, a little bit more effeminate. Effeminate sweaters kind of billow out a little bit more down here. Man, the holes that it just created is kind of neat in its own way. It makes it feel like a beat up sweater, but let's add a little thickness. Let's see if that'll fix that. Yep. One key. Add a little bit more thickness. Just make it a little chunkier. But it still has that nice, a little bit too much. We're clipping a little bit under the arm here, so I can take that thickness back down a little bit. Or maybe that's just from me doing my shrink wrapping. But overall, look, and now we're still at 927. In 10 minutes, the same amount of time it took me in Maya to build a skeleton, paint skin weights, and add 2 keyframes, I have now added a sweater that works on 2 separate characters, completely animated, completely ready to go. Engine ready. I could export this and bring it into Unreal, and it would work on the Bernice MetaHuman in Unreal. It would sit on her body and apply any animations that I had for Bernice in Unreal. So that's why I'm calling like Maya a dumb mesh. Maya, powerful program. I love the program. I'm an expert in Maya. I'm an expert in MetaTailor. I would always take my clothes into MetaTailor. 100% of the time, just because of the amount of work that just required. I can still animate in Maya. I can still have a whole avatar, animate that avatar, export that out, throw the clothes on in MetaTailor, and have them just work. I don't have to worry about clipping or anything like that because they just work, and then bring them into Unreal. So MetaTailor is filling that gap. MetaTailor is doing that extra step that we don't see in other places. Yeah, no, Levon's doing great. No, he was following my joke, the $8 fiver rig. It got me to laugh. I knew what you're going for. 100%. Going off of my joke. All right. So we flipped avatars. We've added this in. It just works. There's a little spot there in the back. Let's go ahead. I'm just going to grab our MetaHuman again. Transfer it back. And let's go ahead and go to our marketplace. Brand new marketplace, everybody. New stuff in here all the time. Let's go ahead and add some things. Let's go to our clothes. Ooh, Mad Max bandana. I want to add that. It doesn't make sense, though. I guess it's kind of like a scarf. But let's get some pants. These cyber kimono pants look cool. That'll look cool with the sweater. Let's download those. Grab some... I like those cyberpunk shoes. Nope, but these hip-hop shoes, a little bit more on the comfort wear, athleisure that I'm going for here. I do want to throw a shirt underneath it, this relaxed professional. So this might be tough. We're going to try it, though. Let's try it. This business executive. Right here. Let's do that. Download it. Awesome. Let's go to our design. My content, all. Business executive. That's going over the top. I'm going to try to put it underneath. I'm trying to make it like that. So I'm going to have to do a little editing in here. Pull that collar down a little bit more. But let's get some of these other things in here. Let's get the shoes and the pants. Looking pretty good. The shirt's currently tucked into the pants. I want it untucked. All right, let's turn. Do I like this shirt? I like the collar. That's what kind of attracted me to this shirt right here. Let's turn off our sweater for a second and see what that does to our collar. I don't know if this is the shirt. I think I'll have to grab another one. The idea was take my grab tool. Song's getting a little wild. Kind of bring it down and bring it down. Turn this more into like a V-neck sweater. That's looking pretty good. Let's smooth that out a little. Oops, too much. Take that strength down. Trying to smooth out that transition there. Oh, I gotta get my grab tool under here. Forgot about our massive traps. That's the traps, right? I'm saying the right muscle, right? The wings behind your back. There we go. All right, so it looks good in this view. Let's hit confirm. Let's see if the dynamic layering agrees with it. Let it do its tweaking. Let it do its tailoring. Yeah, it's doing an okay job. It's pushing it a little bit. I mean, to truly get that collar sitting over, you'd probably want to bring that collar in as its own separate object and just have the shirt kind of underneath, or even just a white collared shirt underneath, not a white collared, a white crew neck shirt underneath, and then put just the collar on top and kind of tuck it in a little bit that way. That would be the easy way to get this look to go how you want it. Now it's this fashionable, like I said, kind of like athleisure, nice looking kind of combo there. And that's using marketplace items. I'm still using that Maya dumb mesh, that Maya under 500 poly garbage for all intents and purposes mesh that took forever to rig in Maya and would take even more time to get to this level. And what's mind-blowing about this smart mesh is this smart mesh isn't just on top. It's not deleting the faces underneath. We have that option underneath tailoring. If I go ahead and check our box, apply visibility, that'll delete everything underneath to kind of take care of any kind of clipping, save on energy and rendering time. It'll delete those faces we cannot see. It'll do that for us, but it doesn't have to. It's still, if I turn this sweater off, there's still a shirt underneath that. If I turn this shirt off, there's still a chest underneath that. And it stacks on top of it. And that's one of the big issues I'm finding when I'm trying to pull outfits off of Sketchfab and DeviantArt and anywhere else that I'm trying to like steal outfits for these fun streams and stuff like that is, of course, optimization. It's the way of the world. It's the way of 3D. You delete what you can't see. You delete the faces that you don't have, which works if you're just going to have a character that only wears that outfit. If that's the only outfit. If you have a second outfit, you have to build a whole new character, build a whole new rig, and everything that goes along with that. So the fact that MetaTailor doesn't have to do that. The MetaTailor can layer these clothes on, gives you so much interoperability. Like we said, any avatar, any piece of clothing, all you have to do is set it up once. I set up this sweater once. I'm just doing small tweaks as we go from avatar to avatar. We'll go back to Bernice. And we'll put this same outfit on Bernice. Couple of tweaks here and there. It's still even tailoring. It's not even done fixing it up. Couple of tweaks here on the shoulders. That's one of the big pain points I've found on just this shirt in general, because it's going from a wide shoulder guy to a slider shoulder girl and back and forth. So all these changes I'm making, I just have to touch that up. But look, it's pretty much good to go. Ready to go. So easy peasy going from dumb mesh to smart mesh. Checking our chats. Excellent. Throw some animation on here. Looking pretty good. A couple of those points that I didn't clean up. Any mesh, FBX, OBJs. Let's see, import. We got FBX, OBJs, MTAs, GLTFs, and GLBs. So, I mean, there are some restrictions, like Blender files, but you can just take it out of Blender as exported out as an FBX. But any mesh. I can go on Sketchfab, and we can do that right now, because that's pretty much everything I wanted to show with the dumb mesh to smart mesh. Let's grab something off Sketchfab real quick. Look at a shirt. Let's find a shirt, because shirts are easy. Oops, let me make sure it's downloadable. Clear the licenses that are, you don't want me to put it up there. If I wanted to, I could combine this with this shirt right here, this t-shirt. Download 3D model, FBX, download. We'll bring this t-shirt right now. Yeah, this is 500 tries. 502, well, not tries, 502 quads, 502 faces, which if you split it in half, it's about 1,000 tries. I mean, yeah, in a way, Steve. I mean, the avatar takes a little bit extra work. If we wanted to pull an avatar off of something, one of the fastest ways to get an avatar, and we've done it in a couple of streams. I think there's one video or two videos out there that kind of talk about it as well. But the avatar does need to be rigged, and the avatar does need to be skinned. That's the two kind of big things. That's why metahumans are fantastic, because metahumans, you can take it out of Unreal. We definitely have a video for that one, a really great video for that. So you can take this Bernice, this is a metahuman. A lot of the other characters I've been messing with and playing with, those are metahumans as well. They come rigged and skinned, ready to go. And they come with blend shapes, and 2.3 now supports blend shapes. But if you don't have that and you're taking any avatar you created of just a character, you can take that character over to Mixamo, the free website. And in Mixamo, you can kind of create a very rough rig. And I got some time after I import this shirt. Maybe we'll do that. We'll take a look. All right, so I like to let's first unzip that. Where'd it go? There's my t-shirt. Yep, you take it into Mixamo and you can export it out without any kind of animation on it. You can export it out as a T-pose and it'll just work. That's kind of like our motto. It'll just work. It's not our motto, but the amount of times we say it just works. It should be. So we'll do that next, Steve. Hang around for a second. I'm going to quick show this shirt. And we'll get this shirt to work on a brand new avatar. Import. Cloth and accessories. Where's that one I just created? Where'd you go? There it is, shirt. It had a diffuse. Oh, it had a bump map. Oh, yeah, a bump map. Will it read a bump map? It's not a normal map. Kinda. It added some weird lighting, so I'm going to get rid of that. Next step. Call it a shirt. Next step. And so this is the only thing you have to do, and you only have to do it once. And then it'll work for any character, any avatar. This is the only kind of pre-set up set you have to do. And so what I like to do first is I like to kind of come into the collar and make sure my collar is around the neck in a comfortable way. That's usually my big landmark to make sure my size and placing's right. Then after that, you go into your start pose mesh and you just kind of move your arms around in a way to get it to work. What I like to do is if you're in an A pose, I like to take these hips and push these hips out a little bit. And that's going to help kind of cover any sort of grabbing on this side right here. Come into the back and you just have to get about 60%. It doesn't have to be perfect. So even this, you can preview your pose wrap, make sure you're not grabbing anything. They did a good job. This character's in an A pose, so it's not showing us. I'll have to go to the next step and kind of look at our T pose. Yep, so theoretically, I could take all my content I bought on Daz and just put it on MetaHumans and it'll just work. Yes. Look, Levon uses Daz assets in MetaTailor all the time. Awesome. So I've got this shirt. It's stacked on top of this. And Steve, if you're not familiar with this, or Steve, we also have the dynamic layering. The dynamic layering that we're really not highlighting in this right now is you can see right now that this shirt is on top of the pants. All you have to do is click and drag, and it does all the work for you for tucking that shirt in and creating the proper layering. It does the layering based on what you have in your dynamic layering. And to me, that was one of the coolest features that I saw coming out of MetaTailor when I first opened it. I'm like, I could just do that. It just works. It just works. All right, so here's the shirt. It's got a couple issues in this sleeve here, and that's just because of the mesh. I'm not going to worry too much about that. I just wanted to show you that it just came in, it worked. I can go to my viewport settings. I can put it into a T pose. And look, it matches. I can go into a female running. And so part of the issues that we're seeing in this sleeve here is this shirt was sculpted in something like Marvelous Designer. And because it was in Marvelous Designer, they sculpted in their own wrinkles instead of letting the physics happen with those wrinkles. So it's as if you starched the heck out of the shirt and got it to be as stiff as possible. And it just works. Because it's new, Steve. It's up to you. Go out, spread the word, tell your friends. We're trying our best. But no, absolutely. This is a relatively new program that's out there. And the amount of work that our developers and our team has put in, the amount of code and the ingeniousness of this. I recommend, Steve, if this is your first kind of time coming into this, go back and take a look at the last two streams where we're introducing gloves and the way the fingers articulate with gloves on a character. It is beyond anything I've seen in the 3D world. So amazing. So let's go ahead and grab an avatar. I'm trying to think if I have an avatar on hand that I can use, me personally. I have, bear with me, I think I have, I could throw in a Mixamo. I'm just going to show that Mixamo pipeline because I got 15 minutes. So I've got a character. I did not make this character. It's a character I use for other, or no, here. Where is he? You all might recognize this character. I got to turn it into an FBX so you can watch me do that real quick. So I've got an avatar. I've got an avatar that I have, in a sense, we'll assume I've created it. I have not created this character. You've got an avatar. In Maya, in ZBrush, in Blender, wherever you have it, you've got an avatar that you're ready to start getting dressed. And so I'm going to pull up mine right here real quick. Like I said, you might recognize our character. If anybody is in the 3D world, a 3D animator, this guy right here is probably one of our most famous characters we could ask for. I just want the head. I just want the mesh. I know it's locked. There we are. I guess I should grab his. You know what I can do? File. export selection as an FBX. Export selection, let's go to FBX. And let's go ahead and with the smooth mesh. I don't want any animation. Just trying to take out reference. Nope, I just want the mesh. Take out anything else that's not mesh. I can take the texture intro, that's fine. Call this guy Max. It's Max for Maya. That's fine. I should still be able to bring that into Mixamo. From Marketplace, talk, probably mix a bowl. Oh, so I see you don't use content on Marketplace and the Marketplace. Okay, yes, Steve, you can use any avatar, any clothing, and it will just work. And you can import your own stuff. Our Marketplace is full of fantastic clothing. I'll throw some clothing on Max here in a second. Let's go ahead and open up Mixamo. Oops, let me log in. But our marketplace is full of amazing content. You can bring in your own content or upload a character. You can use what we have. You can use the files we have. And then there's Max for FBX. It's going to take a second, process the character. Messed up his head. Probably because he still has some of that rig in there. Next. It's going down to the root joint. See, I'd played with a good Max earlier. Let's see. Do I have him ready to go? I have a lentil that the character I did. Where's my assets from the most recent set of videos? There he is. I've got one. So essentially you'd go in here, you'd upload the character, you'd set your landmarks on this character. It's not doing that because it recognized that there were already bones in there. But you set that in Mixamo and you export it out of Mixamo. And I've got a better Max, the one that I actually have ready to go. Right here. And this was pulled from Mixamo. I did the same exact steps. I had just gone through and meticulously gotten rid of the rig and all those other parts without losing where the body parts are. And we'll go back into MetaTailor. And to just bring in any avatar, any FBX that you're ready to go, you go to Import, Avatar, go to my desktop, and I'm going to grab Max right here. And here's that character, pulled straight from Mixamo. Hit your next step. And then you just place these landmarks. And you only have to do this once. Once you go through and place these landmarks on your character, and you mess with your character and get those all into place, your knees, your heels, your toes. And look, it already eyeballed it and did a good job. It already did a really fantastic kind of layout where all of this should be. I don't have to change anything on Max. It auto-mapped it perfectly. And I brought in characters where I have to do a lot of the mapping, a lot of the fixing, but MetaTailor does a really good job just kind of knocking that out of the park. Hit next. I don't need to extract any clothing. Hit next step. And now Max is an avatar ready to dress. Go to my content browser. Go to all my content. I can add that shirt. I didn't like that shirt, but I can add my sweater. And boom, it's added to Max just with the big traps right there. Go to my content browser. I can add stuff from previous streams. I can add this SWAT suit. Now he's SWAT Max. Go to my viewport. And now he's animated. Max for Maya now is in a full SWAT gear. It's ready to go. Steve, you're just making this stream easy on me. You're giving me stuff to talk about. Does it have physics? Yes, it has physics. Let's get out of our SWAT gear. Let's flip back over to a regular human. Let me grab our main guy. Let's throw... Actually, you know what? I've got some good physics ones. Where is... Our Sentinel's pretty good. Where's one of my gladiators? Our Centurion... it says Punk Rocker. It's supposed to be our Centurion. He had some really good physics on him. So I'm going to grab you. I'm not able to catch up with all that chat just yet. So I have this character, the Centurion, that we pulled off of Sketchfab in one of our live streams to kind of show our physics. And so let's go ahead and show it again. Let's play with physics. And it's going to ask, okay, what do you want? I want my Centurion cape. It already has it from last time. It has it saved. And you can click on it. You can drag it. You can see what kind of physics I have applied to it. You can add a spinning jump or as a simple idle. Let's do, where's my spinning jump? Walk with rifle. Ooh, drop kick. Punching bag. Just got to give it that brief moment to kind of catch up and get back into place. It's not going from the bind pose. Bind pose. Let's go ahead and reset that. Go back to our design. Go back to our physics. Give it a second. Now I'm running. Fix that cape. Get it back in position. There it goes. That's the skirt that's breaking right there. Look at that cape. That was physics we applied before. And the physics are pretty easy. You can see what's going on with this skirt right here. You hit auto-generate parameters, and it'll replace the parameters that were put on there originally. And then you can go to manually paint your parameters, and it gives you the actual item itself. You do paint blending, and just like painting with Maya skin weights, you go in and you can add a layer of however much you want. I can hit flood to get no movement and hit confirm. And then let's go ahead and bring it back and hit play. And it's basically taking all those physics off of that skirt. Awesome. While that plays for a second, let me buzz through some of these chats. Mixing Des. First feature, I can import my clothes and it'll fit any avatar. The layering, like I said, was amazing. Physics for me, but it's still in preview. Because after spending years doing it manual way, it doesn't seem real. Wait, it has physics. Showcasing on the stream, that's wild. Physics would say is pretty good, but obviously Unreal Engine beats it on that. It works with Unreal Engine. Yes, it does. You can send your physics over. Yes, you can. Perfect, perfect. Looking at all the chats. Look at that. Fantastic work. We got about 7 minutes left. I'll touch up this skirt here a little bit better. Grab the skirt, hit our manual paint weights. So what I'm going to do is I flooded it with nothing. I'm just going to paint a small amount here around the bottom because you just want it for that secondary animation. Really, for something like this, you just want it like right around there. Let's give that a try. So play. It's moving okay. I could probably add a little bit more. And it remembers it. I just keep going in. I can add. I want to keep the top pretty stiff because that's what's going to adhere to it. I think the other one had too much flooded on the top of looseness. It's basically the drapery, the looseness of the fabric is what we're seeing there. Look at that. And so it's popping through a little bit here and there. That's starting to look smoother. It's looking less like it's made out of like a hard leather and more soft. And the cape, of course, is the piece de resistance on our Centurion here. And this was all pulled off of Sketchfab. This is not anything MetaTailor designed specifically. I pulled this off of Sketchfab from like some artist from 8 years ago. It's lower poly. It's not a high poly piece. And all that physics worked with it. This is not one of my higher poly ones. You have to let me show it. Yeah, look at that. Some. But this chess piece is maybe just a hair more, maybe 200-300 more than our actual garbage Maya one. It's got a good spread of tries across the back of the cape, but it's not. When I was looking at Marvelous Designer and seeing how they were doing their physics today, they needed subdivision levels 2-3 times this to get the smoothness and the physics and that animation in there. And so just the fact that MetaTailor is doing this so cheap, so easily. And it's just a couple clicks, and it works on any character. This is working on an older avatar. I could throw this on Bernice, and it would work on Bernice. And going from there. Yep, let's do it. I just talked about it. See, let's do it. I saw your question after I said it. Avatars. I won't do Bernice this time. I'll do Trey. Different body shape, different character. You can turn the turn that wireframe off, and look, that one doesn't even need tweaks. Looks like I'll need to redo the physics on this one. Back to our layers. Oops, let's pause. Sign, layers, physics, cape. Yeah, I'd have to redo the physics. It did not move the physics over to the new character. But I would just go in, I would flood the whole thing. Grab my radius. Drop my strength way down. There it goes. I'm just doing a light kind of paint over the whole thing just to give it a little bit more firmness, give it a little bit more literal weight. I can probably take some of that away. That looks like I made it just a little bit too stiff. I added like a 10% stiffness to it just to give it a little heavier feel. And it's a little too heavy. I could go back in and reduce that a little bit. A digital wardrobe, absolutely. That's what we call it. Build your digital wardrobe. Get dressed with us. Build your digital wardrobe. Yep. Anytime I do a new project with a new avatar, I can use any of my content I bought on other sites. So some of that does come with the Pro. So to kind of give a little bit of a fair warning, there is a free version and there is a Pro version. Physics, the tools I was using, you can only export out, I believe it's up to 5 now, 5 avatars, 5 outfits total with the free version. Pro, unlimited. Pro, unlimited imports. So getting Pro does open up a couple channels to you. Our glove support right now, that is all within Pro. So I highly recommend it. I mean, you just saw everything I was able to do. I'm using the Pro version, and it just there's just one Pro version. It's not tiered. So I either have the free version, which has a lot of functionality. It's a great way to jump in and test it. You still get to export stuff out. And then, of course, you can always upgrade to the Pro for a month or for a year. Right now, I believe it's still discounted for a year if you buy a whole year of MetaTailor. And you can just bring it in and use it. And so Pro is where I'm getting a lot of these features. So just kind of keep that in mind, take a look at it, but Pro is absolutely worth it. I mean, you just saw everything I was able to do at a blink of an eye. Pro, we just had it. It can only hold a couple options. Or not Pro. Free can only hold like 4 or 5 outfits. Pro, unlimited outfits. with that being said, we're coming to the close of our stream here. Join us. Make sure you like and subscribe down below. Hit that bell. Like I said, we're here every 9 o'clock. We're usually on Saturdays, sometimes on a Sunday. But this is our live Q&A session. Thank you so much to Steve in the chat today for kind of, like I said, taking over the stream, making my life easier, giving me stuff to show off. So absolutely, if you've got questions, if you've got concerns, things that you want to see us do, understand how we tackle it, these live streams are the best place to do it. You're more than welcome to take over like we just did tonight, and I'll walk you through everything. I'll show you all these cool features every single time. Whatever you're interested in seeing, I'm happy to show it. With that being said, if you have any suggestions, feel free to drop it in the Discord or send it directly to me personally in the Discord. Our Discord community is fantastic. Please, if you're not going to like and subscribe, at least join the Discord community. You can ask questions. You can ask anything, and we've got our MetaTailor experts who are there pretty much around the clock. I see Jordan answering stuff at like 2 a.m. I'm answering stuff at like 3 a.m. And on top of that, we've got our users who are professional in Unreal, Maya, MetaTailor, and they'll be able to help you walk through some of these issues that you might be having. So our community is live, it's active, it's there all day, all night. Join us on Discord, like and subscribe, watch these videos, and that's pretty much it for tonight. So thank you all for hanging out. It's been about an hour. We took about 10 minutes to create a Maya dumb mesh and turn it into and just kind of build a semblance of a slightly less dumb mesh by building a rig, a skeleton, painting skin weights, and putting into 2 poses and keying those 2 poses. Whereas in MetaTailor, it took me 5 minutes and it was fully animated. I can put it on any single character, on any animation, any outfit, ready to go. I can integrate it with stuff from our marketplace, stuff from Sketchfab, stuff from anywhere, and it just works. It just works. It's fantastic. So have a good night, everybody. I can just sit here talking all night long. Thank you so much for coming out, hanging out with me on the stream. Have a good night. Go get dressed. See you later.